Welcome back YouTube, this is my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now, I'm AspieAnswersAll and I'm all about creating mental health and awareness as well as sharing my life stories and experiences with Auspicious syndrome, OCD and the like, so that you can journey with me and hopefully understand me more underneath the mask of these diagnoses that I share with you all. I am also currently trying to become a mental advocate for the ones that may need it when they are down and out on the swell, as well as just sharing some pearls and wisdom of encouragement along the way. Also, regardless of everyday struggles that you go through, and hopefully some of those positive wisdom and encouragement will be messages of hope for you all, and that you guys will hopefully just be more at ease and at peace within yourselves. And all further ado, at this point of time, I'm trying to finish up what is left of the series that I'm trying to do of the ones for the playlistings of Auspicious syndrome and autism, help central versus ADHD, dyslexia and the like, basically, because I'm hoping to do ADHD and Auspicious syndrome and series versus basically just some how-to guides along the way, basically to follow step by step. So these can hopefully be easy to follow and that you can just take it away, learn something, and hopefully within that learning something with these tips and advice, regardless, even though it's based on my life experiences and how I go about managing my everyday struggles with, these everyday conditions I've briefly shared earlier, and that hopefully when you come across someone that is different than you, maybe some of these tips and tricks may work for you with those people, and that hopefully in the near future that we can just respect one another regardless what it is of our differences, as well as just being more empathetic and understanding towards one another. As you know, basically, if I do give out the tips and tricks, or tips and advice I should say, to you all, is based again on my experiences as well as my life training that I've been through or done in 2014-15ish, so that you guys can actually have a lowdown of it. Some of it may work for you and not for me, and vice versa. Some of it may work for me and not for you. But as I said many times before, I can't stress it enough. If any of the warning signs that you see that I share of any mental health disorders, or just anything in general doesn't seem fit or appropriate, seek medical advice or seek medical attention. Because like I said, in some of my mental health disorder series, or most of them, I don't wish for someone just to self-harm themselves, basically, to the point that they can't control themselves one way or another. So without further ado, guys, this is our how-to guide of basically in the Auspicious syndrome and autism helps central guide tour of my playlistings, which is basically making a behavior intervention plan, which are broken down into 4 methods. This is obviously the last one, which is method 4, staying positive and kind to one another. As we know, basically every child has different needs, regardless autistic or not. We need to know, what will be best deemed fit and appropriate of it all. But then again, you got to remember that regardless of it all, that we need to meet the needs and hopefully stick with every challenges and interventions that I've put into place here as some methods and remedies along the way. So number 1 is for the last part of method 4 is presume competence. Begin with the assumption that the child is capable and able to do anything that they want, and being able to do things, because for autistic children, they've got gifts obviously, and even though many people think that just because they're non-verbal they won't be able to achieve in life, and all these other misconceptions about autistic children and just other children with special needs, they will go far with the right people around them and right support and whatnot. Just don't forever put them down, and that is a no-no. They do mean well, and they are trying hard already to actually achieve and accomplish what they want to accomplish in life. So help them rise to meet your expectations, but not too much of a high expectation to the point that you exhaust them, and then it comes down to that overwhelming stage again. Optimism can lift the child's spirits and then bring positive results. Number 2, recognize that no behavior is meaningless. What I mean here is, even if it doesn't make sense to you, if they are verbal or not, it is fulfilling to some sort of purpose for the child, or expressing something. There is a reason why, you just don't know it yet. Number 3, be cautious about assigning motives to their behaviors. As I said before, that many people will tend to think meltdowns and whatnot of a child from the ones that suffer from anxiety or autism and the like, that they feel they have to yell at their child or tell them to stop it when they're swimming and all that. Okay, it's a no-no. I said this in one of my video series over as a rant and rave. You shouldn't do that because it's just a natural thing that helps them and to cope in their everyday situations. It's a sensory, input versus their sensory output of their stimming. Even if it is an embarrassment to you when they click their tongue, flip their hands around in public, you can always, like I said, teach them, when it's appropriate and when it's not appropriate. It's the point, but it's just a matter of not, as I said, being the one in power all the time to tell them all the time no. Sometimes you got to just let them go with it, with their stomach. Each person thinks differently, got to remember that, and these differences can be especially profound between autistic and non-autistic people, or the neurotypicals as I call you guys. The child's reasoning may be completely different from what you think it is, so you got to remember that our thinking patterns versus your thinking patterns is different, and how we act and respond to that situation, if we're in one of a pickle, may not like the solution we may come out with it, but then again, you've got to be in mind that, it's about give and take here. Number 4, don't confuse the words they can't with they won't. Okay, gaining the abilities is not a linear progression. Okay, if a child is stressed or worn out, they might not be able to do things that they could otherwise do. So therefore, in this part here, you got to realize that regardless if they're stressed or worn out, like any child really, that they're low in energy, can't concentrate, they can't seem to focus and all that, you got to allow them to actually wind down and find something to, maybe release that stress or whatever it was and build up to that, what lays there. If a child is resisting your attempts to make them do something, it may be they can't do that thing at the moment, or they don't understand. Again, it's like I said, some of it is due to their verbal cues versus their sensory integration of what they can put into place of versus also what I said before about the sensory processing disorder, how they interpret it is different and basically really confusing. Okay, I'll give you a clear example here to illustrate more, hopefully, so that you guys basically can understand where I'm coming from on this part of this part. So, okay, I'm going to use a child named Jamal in this example, okay, for this classic example. So instead of Jamal is angry and won't tell you why as an adult, he's so difficult. You could think to yourself, instead of assuming that, that just because he's angry he can't tell you why, like I said, that maybe they're not ready, maybe they're non-verbal, they're stressed, they're tired, or whatever. You need to look of the who, what, why, where situation. Jamal is angry and can't tell me why. Okay, think of it this way. Maybe he's too upset to speak. Maybe I'll have to help him calm down, and then maybe I can figure out what's going on with him, or what's going on in general. Is it the environmental issue? Is it just something in general of his meltdown stage coming along, or whatever it may be? Okay, sensory input exhaustion, stress, seizures, anxiety, and more can affect their ability levels, okay, in any child whatsoever. A classic example here to share with you, or another one, is perhaps if you had a daughter, she can usually put her plates in the dishwasher, but after a night of bad sleep and hearing pots clinking in the kitchen, it is getting too overwhelming one day for her. Okay, number 5, obviously, is respond to your child with patience and compassion. This may be frustrating to you, but chances are it is even worse for the child if you raise your voice, scream, yell, hit, whatever the case may be. Respond kindly can lessen the child's stress, making it easier for them to communicate to you or do a difficult task that was difficult in the first place that needs to be completed. 6. Focus on rewards, not punishment. Okay, many people tend to punish the bad behaviour versus, the positive reinforcement that, and all with people that are autistic. I've noticed that time and time again that, like I said before, classic example, if a child was outside with you in town and they start their stimming and you tend to yell and scream at them, this is not the right time, place, or whatever, you put them into a stress mode, and obviously they'll have a meltdown there and then. But obviously the key thing to remember is positive strategies help more than the negative ones. The child will see you as a friend and an ally, not the punisher. Autistic children may not be able to understand why they are being punished, however, making it completely ineffective for both of you. Be a part of a team together. You are not the child's opponent, nor are they passive object of the project that you want to establish. when complete. The child needs to feel that you care about their feelings, that you'll listen to them, and that they can come to you with problems, big or small, so that they can communicate to you. It's all about, being able to trust one another and whatnot. Never make basic needs contingent on a certain level of behaviour. A narcissistic person may resort to behaviours when under extreme duress, and they may not be able or capable of producing the desired solution at that time that you want them to. Last but not least, number 7, provide love and acceptance. Show that the child basically that you care about them, as well as their autism and just everything about them, not just the autism, and that they are not a burden to those around them. Make it clear that you don't need them to pretend to be normal. Encourage their strengths, embrace their uniqueness, and make it clear that you love them just the way they are. Many people make this mistakes, basically, obviously, that just because they're autistic that they can't do anything. So it's all about embracing everything and unique. Okay, some tips and warnings here. That was supposed to be one of my other methods, but I'll put them in for the last one here. Is number 1, choose one very specific behaviour that you want to change. Okay, for example, classic one, child throwing foods at meal times. Number 2, determine what habits before behaviour might be causing it. For instance, does the autistic child finish eating more quickly than anyone else? Is there some way you can eliminate or change it or provide an alternative, e.g. something else to do at the table to address the reason behind the action? Number 3, remember that behaviour communicates something. I'm scared, I need your attention, I'm bored, etc., etc. What is the child trying to communicate may not or may be appropriate to the situation, but figuring out what the message could be can help you find the possible solutions in the need of a child. Warnings. Just to bear in mind that there's 2 to be in mind here. Be aware that autistic children can be affected by many things you might not even notice. For instance, you may always eat off certain plates and you change them. Someone is sitting in a different place you ate before bath time rather than after bath time, etc., etc. Number 2, people that some professionals may recommend damaging practices. Never do something to the child that makes them scream, cry, or panic, even if their therapist recommends it. It's all about basically maybe doing your own research here, knowing what's best for your child, and obviously at that point when it comes down to it, once you find that kind of method that works for you and the child, stick with it, because not all medical specialist knows your child than you do. So it's basically trying to work one another regardless of what's been said and done. So basically that ends like the how to on make a behaviour intervention plan for an autistic child, method 4 basically. Give me the like for thumbs up for showing that you're engaging with me. Feel free to comment below if I've missed out any bits and pieces that you guys do if you've got some kids with special needs, obviously, because like I said, some of these could be addressed as not just for autistic children, but it can be for other children with special needs, just to put into practice and put into place. Feel free to also follow me on Facebook or Twitter, AspieAnswersAll. Feel free to private message me on AspieAnswersAll or direct message me on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Feel free to share these videos around. Until next time, do what you love what you do. I'll see you all again soon. Ciao.